This home costs $60,000 to build. From the outside, it looks like a shed. Step inside, and your entire idea of affordable shifts. And from the outside, it looks like nothing. A shed, a blip, a shed, a blip. Invisible. But the second you step through that door, everything changes. This is a real, affordable, tiny home built for around $60,000. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how something this small pulls off feeling this big. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is the place where we break down real, small space builds. No fluff, no fake price tags, just what these homes actually cost and how they pull off feeling bigger than they are. By the end, you'll know exactly what $60,000 buys, why it feels bigger than it is, and whether this kind of build makes sense for you and square footage you can actually get for around $60,000, a full cost breakdown, and a builder worth checking out if you want to go this route yourself. If that sounds useful, subscribe now. This channel runs on exactly this kind of content, and you won't want to miss what's next. Let's go inside. This isn't a converted shed or a trailer with a coat of paint. It's a purpose-built small home, somewhere between 350 and 500 square feet, designed from the ground up to be lived in full-time. The concept behind builds like this traces back to the broader tiny house movement that picked up steam after the 2008 housing crash, when affordability, not aesthetics, became the priority for a lot of builders. The key difference here is structural. Instead of dividing the interior into separate small rooms like a miniature version of a normal house, the moment you walk in, you can see all the way to the back wall. No corridors, no partitions, no chopped up rooms. That single unbroken view is why it feels twice as big. That single decision is the reason this home feels nothing like its size on paper. A smaller footprint means less foundation, less roofing, less of everything that drives up traditional construction costs per square foot. There's also far less skilled labor required. Simpler framing, a smaller electrical and plumbing run, and fewer structural complications than a full-size home. Many of these builds use prefabricated wall panels and trusses, cut to spec off-site, which keeps material waste and the labor needed to deal with it to a minimum. Here's the number that matters. Builds like this typically land between $120 and $160 per square foot, fully finished. A traditional new build home, by comparison, often runs $150 to $250 plus per square foot once you factor in a larger footprint, full foundation, and standard finishes. The real savings isn't really the per square foot rate, it's that you're paying for far fewer square feet to begin with and getting smart design instead. The exterior is deliberately plain, almost deliberately boring. That's not an oversight, that's the strategy. Some people love the no-frills, almost minimalist look. Others think it just looks unfinished or cheap from the curb. But that's the trade-off. Builders sink the money into what's inside the walls instead of the facade. Vaulted ceilings, big windows, open sight lines, rather than spending it on exterior trim nobody lives in. Smaller homes like this actually have some structural advantages people don't expect. A more compact frame means less surface area exposed to wind, which can mean better wind resistance compared to a larger home with the same materials. Standard framing on builds like this is typically rated for normal regional snow and wind loads, the same as any code-compliant home, just on a smaller, simpler structure with fewer failure points. And because the footprint is smaller, issues like foundation, settling, or moisture intrusion are easier and cheaper to catch and fix early. There are a few common variations worth knowing if you're shopping this category. The single-story slab model, what we're looking at today, skips a loft entirely and puts everything, including the bedroom, on one level. The loft model adds a sleeping loft above the main living area, which saves floor space but requires climbing a ladder or steep stairs. The on-wheels model is built on a trailer chassis for mobility, often trading some square footage for the ability to relocate. And the modular expandable model is designed to connect to an additional unit later, letting owners start small and add space over time. So what does $60,000 actually get you? Realistically, somewhere in the 350 to 500 square foot range, fully finished, depending on site costs and how much labor you handle yourself. Compare that to a traditional build, where $60,000 might only cover a down payment in a lot of markets today, not the home itself. That's the real value proposition here. This build splits cleanly into 3 zones. An open kitchen and living area up front, a bedroom tucked behind a sliding barn-style door, and a compact bathroom off to the side. Open concept living and dining works especially well here because it avoids wasting square footage on hallways and door frames. And that vaulted ceiling we mentioned earlier adds real volume. Some sections reach 10 to 12 feet at the peak, which makes the whole space read as far bigger than the footprint suggests. Let's break this $60,000 down into real categories. Break this into 2 beats. The big 3, framing, foundation, and site prep, account for roughly $28,000 to $45,000. Add labor and finishes, and you're looking at another $18,000 to $30,000. Permits and contingency close out the last $5,000. For perspective, owners who hired out most of the work on a similar build ended up closer to $95,000 for a larger, fully custom version. Others who handled some of the finishing themselves landed around $70,000 for a comparable size. For an exact $60,000 scenario, you're typically looking at the smaller end of the range, around 350 to 400 square feet, with simpler finishes and the owner contributing some sweat equity on interior work. A few strategies matter most if you want to land close to $60,000. Doing your own interior finishing, flooring, paint, trim is the biggest single savings lever. A partial finish approach, where you live in a space and upgrade rooms gradually, spreads cost out instead of front-loading it. Keeping the exterior simple, rather than adding custom siding or trim details, cuts both material and labor cost. One thing people consistently regret skimping on: insulation. In a home this tight, it's the single upgrade that pays for itself fastest. If you're seriously considering a build like this, it's worth looking into established small home builders, such as Modern Tiny Living or similar companies that specialize in slab-based, full-time livable tiny homes rather than RV-style trailers. Builders in this space typically offer a range of finish levels, from basic shells you finish yourself to fully turnkey homes, which lets you scale the project to whatever budget you're working with. A number of owners online have documented their builds with timelines and real cost breakdowns, which is worth searching out before you commit to a design. To be fully transparent, this video is not sponsored by any builder mentioned here. I'm sharing this because it came up while researching real builds, not because anyone paid for the mention. Please do your own research, get multiple quotes, and check local zoning and building codes before committing to any builder or design. Tiny home regulations vary a lot by location. At the end of the day, this home proves something simple. Square footage isn't the same as livability. A well-designed 400 square foot home with the right sight lines, ceiling height, and storage can feel bigger than a poorly laid out space twice its size. The keys to pulling off a build like this are straightforward. Keep the exterior simple, design around one continuous sight line, and don't skimp on insulation or vertical storage. Get those right, and a tiny home stops feeling tiny. If this video changed how you think about small space living, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe if you're not already, drop your number in the comments, the square footage you could genuinely live with. I'll read them all and use the range to shape the next build I cover. I read every comment, and they genuinely shape what I cover next. Next video, a $40,000 build that's only 280 square feet and somehow has a full-size kitchen. It's worth sticking around for.